They brought me out of like a super dark time. The first week and a half were just, what do I do? Who do I call? Who do I talk to? Do I trust my insurance? What exactly do I do? If you don't know where to go, I would say go with Pacific Northwest, the only company that I got compassion out of. My name is Marvin Toman. I'm a 01 commercial journeyman electrician. I had people show up the day of the fire, 2 hours afterwards, bro. I've got all my animals that passed in the fire laid out in my yard, and I'm just sitting here like, what do I do? People coming up, here's a brochure. We do fire fixes and stuff, and how much insurance do you have? And I'm just like, you need to get off my property. I get it, you're trying to do a job, but this ain't the time for that. I was actually staying with my buddy. I was just sleeping on his floor because the insurance still hadn't figured out where I was gonna stay. One morning, I was just gonna come back to the house and check. I mean, it's charred and there's no power. I was just worried about someone breaking in and stealing my stuff. I get a call at about 7, and this lady, I didn't really know who she was, and I was like, I don't really know what to do. And she goes, well, first thing you need to do is get an asbestos test. That's the first thing the insurance is gonna ask for. So, well, I got a guy, let me call him. Calls me back, hey, Slavic could be there at 9. And I'm like, okay, this is like day 2. Like, yeah, we want to get stuff rolling. We want to figure out what's going on and what we need to do. Talking with Slavic and hearing more of a laid back, all I want to do is help you. They never asked how much insurance I have. They asked, is everyone okay? Are your animals okay? So it just, for me, the compassion was the big thing that was like, yes, I'm going with these guys. That first interaction, he shows up, he's got a company vehicle. I'm like, cool, you know, looks like an established company. He goes around and he takes a couple pieces of paint and stuff, and he's like, let's go over to my warehouse. I'm like, what? He's like, let's go get some coffee, we'll go over to my warehouse, you know, you check out the operation we got going. So seeing the amount of crates they had, the amount of things, you know, all the washroom machines and just the O3 machines that help get the smoke out. So just like seeing all that set up, I was just like, these guys definitely have that in the bag. Now, as far as construction, I don't trust anybody. I've seen so much janky stuff. That was my biggest hurdle, was actually deciding on a company to do the work, basically. It was honestly Rich, man. Rich was there for me in my darkest times. I kept all my fish in a bucket. I had some of these fish for 12, 15 years. I had some of them named after family members that are no longer with us. So Rich was talking to me and he was like, you know, you seem really down, man. And I was ready to be done. I was done. I didn't want to fight anymore. I was just couldn't fathom dealing with this whole process. And Rich said, what's the first thing I can help you with? I break down. I'm like, well, my fish have been in a bucket for a week. I need to put them down. I need to bury them. Dude shows up 30 minutes later, helps me dig a fat hole in my backyard and helps me bury these fish. Tells me a story of his dog passing, and he would carry this dog up this mountain. Any dog that he has that passes, he brings there. And it was just like that sheer willingness to do what you can for your animal, even though it's gone. That just spoke volumes with me. The slight interactions at the beginning. What other company are gonna do that, bro? No, nobody's gonna do that. But it was just straight up the compassion, the caring, anything I had questions on, anything that I was asking, they were there to try to give me more knowledge. I watched every nut and bolt of this house. I watched insulation guys, I watched all of it. And if I had any little inclination, I would let my project manager, Larissa, know, and she would get it handled. She would get it adjusted if it needed to be, or make sure it was done the correct way. They're people over profit, and they're not going to care if they lose some money, making sure you end out whole. I took solace in knowing that this company will do the right thing for you. The insurance companies aren't going to always do the right thing, but they will. It is not very often that you see a construction company willing to do that. I'm sitting in my house now, and I can close that chapter of my life because of them, so I'm very grateful.